Welcome to St. John's High School. I'm your teacher Rabia Atif. Today we are going to discuss the new book's first chapter, that is with the name of Introduction to Biology. Already we have discussed a lot of things from the old book that are already included in the new one. So leaving all those topics, we are going to begin from the topic that is careers in biology. You will find this topic in your new book on page number 5. What is a career? A career is a lifetime journey of building and making good use of your skills, knowledge, and experiences. It is the sum total of all events and relationships in our lives: family, friends, education, work, and leisure activities. So, career is the thing which you join or which you choose after studying or after finishing your studies. After studying biology, what careers are required to be chosen, or what careers you can choose through which you can earn successfully or through which you can bring all your studies in use. So, a career is a lifetime journey, which means after studying you are going to choose a career, you are going to choose a, you can say, profession through which not only you satisfy yourself that you have studied well, but also you can earn your living through it. First of all, I would like to tell that after studying biology, you can join medicine and surgery. Medicine and surgery. Medicine deals with diagnosis and treatment of diseases. You already know it. Yeah, you can become a doctor with that, or you can join any field that is related to medical or that is related to the hospitals. Surgery deals with repair, replacement, or removal of the affected organs. These are not you can say new things for you, but it is important to discuss how important it is to choose a career after studying whatever you are doing right now. Second is agriculture. Agriculture is also a field or a career you can choose after studying biology. It deals with the production of variety of crops, fruits, vegetables, dairy products, etc. This means in agriculture not only you deal with the crops but also with dairy products. This means you can rear the animals like cows and buffaloes, goats, chickens, ducks, and through the dairy products like milk, cheese, butter, eggs, you can earn your living. Pakistan, being an agricultural country, can play a very important role in agriculture. So you can say 80% of the population of Pakistan is engaged in agriculture. So after studying biology, you can continue with the career of not only the medicine and surgery but agriculture as well. The third one is horticulture. What is horticulture? Horticulture is also you can say related to agriculture. In horticulture, you can carry out for the development of new varieties of plants and their products. This means if the plants are not enough or not giving production that is enough according to the population, so you can take out or you can find out new varieties of plants by different methods, which you are going to study further in later chapters in the same book of yours which you are having right now. The fourth career you can choose after studying biology is forestry. What is forestry? Forests are the source of biodiversity of plants and animals of many kinds which live there. This means forests are the home for many animals which are useful and sometimes only for the beautification of the country. Not only the animals you can find in the forest, but the wood and the plantations are there. It is important in development of new forests as well as preservation of existing ones. You can preserve natural existing forest by joining the career of forestry. Plus, you can say you can make more artificial forests by studying forestry in the coming future. Then comes farming. It is also related to agriculture. You can also learn how to work in the farms, and this you can continue as a career after studying biology. Farming includes the development of different kinds of farms such as fish farm, cattle farm, poultry farm, etc. This means on the farms, the simple farms you are having, you can rear the cattle, and you can also develop the fish farms, how to keep the fishes and what kind of fishes must be kept or eaten, or what kinds of fishes are needed to be you can say rear or breed. Then comes the cattle farms. The cattle means all the buffaloes and all the cows and bulls, and all these are cattle through which you can get the dairy products. Not only the dairy products, but you also get the you can say the means of transport through the cattle farming. And then comes the poultry farm. The chickens and the ducks are reared over there for the eggs and meat. New technologies are used for the production of animals as source of meat and milk, leather, wool, etc. Through farming, you can find out or you can learn how to produce more meat and milk, what kind of things are important for the farm animals, or what should be the environment around the farm. All these things come under farming. Then comes animal husbandry. What is animal husbandry? It is a part of agriculture science. It deals with the care and breeding of animals which are beneficial for man. This means a good kind of breedings are produced so that they could be good for men for any kind of use, whatever we are using the animals right now these days. So they should be healthy, and there should be no disease or anything like that in the animals which could harm us. So animal husbandry is the part of agriculture science, and it specially deals with the care and breeding of animals, that is farm animals. Then comes fisheries. It deals with the increased quantity and quality of fish production. Fish is one of the best source of protein. So through fish you can get the protein, plus it is needed very much these days. Iodine is also provided by the fish. Fish is good for health also. So fisheries are you can say developed to find out the good kind of fish or what kind of fish should be eaten. So this is also a career you can continue after studying biology. Then comes biotechnology. This is very famous these days. Many people are joining it and earning a lot through it. It is very important in sensitive profession, no doubt. If many people are engaging these days in this profession, they also need to be very attentive, and they have to take this profession very sensitively. It deals with the manipulation of gene to produce valuable chemical products. Genes are dealt here in biotechnology, and to produce the valuable, or you can say desirable, characters and chemicals through biotechnology. Later we'll discuss in you can say detail. The things which could be you can say produced through biotechnology are insulin. It's very common for the diabetic patients. Then growth hormones, etc. If some growth is stopped in any part of the body, so hormones are produced through certain medicines or injections through biotechnology. So these were the, you can say, careers you can join after studying biology. Now another topic you are having in your new book on page number 6, that is Holy Quran and biology. It is that Almighty Allah has conveyed a great knowledge about the origin and characteristics of animals and plants through our holy book, that is the Quran. A few of ayah are quoted. Number 1 is Surah Anbiya, verse 30. I will read the translation for you. Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were a joint entity, and we separated them and made from water every living thing? Then will they not believe? This is Surah Anbiya, ayat, or you can say verse 30. The next verse that is discussed is from Surah Al-Nur, verse 45. Again, I will read the translation only. Allah has created every moving, that is living creature, from water. Of them there are some that creep on their bellies, some that walk on two legs, and some that walk on four. Allah creates what He wills. Verily, Allah is able to do all things. The third Quranic verse that is quoted in your book, the new book, on page number 7, is from Surah Al-Ra'd, verse 4. I'm going to read the translation for you. And in the earth are neighboring tracts, vineyards and plowed lands, and date palms, like and unlike, which are watered with one water. And we have made some of them to excel others in fruit. Lo, herein verily are portents for people who have sense. One more topic after the Quranic verses is in your new book, that is the level of organization. What actually is meant by the level of organization in biology? You can see the levels of biological organization in this picture. The various levels of organization include atoms, molecules, cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, whole organisms, populations, communities, ecosystems, and the biosphere. This means the life begins with the smallest particle, that is atom, and then atoms join to form molecules, molecules form cells, and similar cells having similar functions form tissues. Then tissues form organs, different organs form organ systems, and then different organ systems form the whole organisms, and the whole organisms form populations, communities, and ecosystems, plus the biosphere. Let's go in detail of these things. Number one is atomic level of organization. It begins from an atom. Can you see this? Atomic level of organization in biology begins from atom. From atom, molecules or compounds are formed. Those molecules and compounds which are formed from atom form organelle. Different organelles form cell, a single cell in your body. Then similar cells, or you can say identical cells having same functions, form tissues, and those tissues are going to form organ form organ systems, and different organ systems form an organism like we are. Second is molecular level of organization. Molecular level begins from atoms, right? As we have discussed later, atoms are the smallest unit of matter that have the chemical properties of a particular chemical element. Atoms combine to form molecules, the smallest particle of a substance that retains all the properties of the substance and is composed of one or more atoms. You can see in the picture given here and on the screen, different atoms combine to form molecules. Those molecules later combine to form more complicated and more complex things. Number third is the cellular level of organization. This means after the formation of molecules or compounds from an atom, cell is formed. What is cell? The cell is the smallest unit of biological organization, and that biologists consider alive. All true cells are surrounded by a plasma membrane, carry out complex chemical reactions, and are at least potentially capable of self-reproduction. In simple, you need to learn that cell is a basic unit of life. Through single cell, the life begins. Number 4, that is given in your book, the organization level, is taxonomic level of organization. Taxonomic level of organization is needed to be understood on a wide level. It begins from a species. For example, I have given a species of a Leo here. Leo means lion. The genus is Panthera, family Felidae, order is Carnivora. In order, you tell about what kind of eating habits the animals have. Then comes the class. In class, you find out what habitat or what kind of habit they are having regarding rearing kids. So this lion, or you can say the Leopenthra, is related to mammalian class, and in mammalian class you basically keep those animals which give birth to their babies and they feed them on their milk. So this Leopenthra belongs to phylum Chordata. Chordata means all those animals which are having backbone. There are two types of animals. One are with the backbone and ones are without backbone. So this Leopenthra belong to Chordata. The final that is the level of organization in taxonomy is kingdom. This Leopenthra belong to kingdom Animalia. Let's have a look at few taxonomic terms. Number one, we have read about species. A biological species is a group of organisms that can reproduce with one another in nature and produce fertile offspring. So species are those which could reproduce with one another and produce offsprings. Then comes the genus. What is genus? Biological genus is defined as species with common attributes. Attributes means which are having common characters, which perform common actions. It includes group of species that are structurally similar. Not only they have common attributes, but they also have similar structures. Then comes the family. In biology, a family contains one or more genera. In a single family, you can have different genera. Order. It is comprised of families sharing a set of similar nature or character. In order, you can put those animals or you can put those families which are similar in nature and characters. With an example, I will explain you. Class. The class as a distinct rank of biological classification having its own distinctive name. All the classes have different distinctive. Distinctive means identically, or you can say the names are given to the classes which are related to their characters. For example, in the Chordata or the Leopenthra that belongs to Chordata and mammalian class, it has 4 more classes in it. Means all those animals which are having backbones, they are distributed into 5 classes, which is fishes and birds and reptilia, and the one is mammalia, and the last one is amphibians. So they all 5 classes are there which are having backbones in them. So they are divided, or you can say they are ranked according to their distinctive names. What is phylum? A phylum is a major category of living organisms or group of genetically related language families. This means those animals which could be related genetically. I will explain you this later. Right now I'm just giving you the definitions of certain taxonomic terms. With the examples you'll be able to learn more about them. And the last term that we have learned in the taxonomic level of organization is kingdom. A kingdom is a taxonomic rank that is composed of smaller groups called phyla or divisions in plants. So let's see with the help of this diagram. Let's begin with this lower part. Over here is Ursus arctos. This is a kind of a bear which is the main species. Then comes the genus. In genus you can have 2 species together. See, this is a brown bear and a black bear. Then comes the family. In family you could have those species which are similar in structure. See, brown bear, black bear, and then panda. This is panda. Then comes the order. According to the order, you tell about the eating habits. See, brown bear, black bear, and panda could include fox in them, because fox is also carnivora. Carnivora are those animals which could eat meat. So the brown bear, the black bear, the panda, and the fox, they all are meat eaters or carnivora. Then comes the class, that is Mammalia, and Mammalia is a huge class. It contains a lot of animals, so you can include any animal with it. Like with the brown bear, black bear, panda, and fox, you can include squirrel. Squirrel is also an animal with a backbone, and it gives birth to young ones and it feed the young one on its milk, so it is included in class Mammalia with all these. Then comes the phylum, that is Chordata, all those animals which are having backbones. See, brown bear, black bear, panda, fox, squirrel, and then snake is added. Snake is also having a backbone. It is also Chordata. So the phylum is more, you can say, vast or vast spread than class. It has, or it could include more animals in it. And then last come the kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia means it includes a lot of animals in it. It's brown bear, black bear, panda, fox, squirrel, snake, and then starfish. Starfish is also an animal. So it means this picture explains the taxonomic level of organization, how the animals are classified into species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. The next level is population level. What is population? A population is group of freely interacting and breeding individuals of the same species. See, this is the pack of wolves. They are same species and they could roam about freely and they could breed. This means they could reproduce. For example, all the bullfrogs in a pond can be considered a population of bullfrogs. Other than the pack of wolves, they have given the example of frogs. Typically, populations are subdivided into smaller groups: a pack of wolves, pride of lions, colony of ants. Population contains same kind of species which could breed. See, this is the population of penguins. They all are same. They could breed, they could roam about wherever they want. This is the population of zebras. They all are the same species and they could breed, they could eat freely, and they could roam about freely with each other. Then comes number 6, the community level. A community is all the populations of different species living and interacting together in a distinct area. See, example, all the species in the pond are community. Population has same kind of species, but community has different kind of species. Like in a pond, you are having different plants, you are having planktons, you are having unicellular organisms, you are having fishes, you are having frogs, and some other species. So in population, you are having same kind of species that are forming the group, and in community, you are having different species living together. See, this is a community. This is the best example of community. A lot of species are together. The lions and the giraffes and zebras and hippos, elephants, deer and rhinoceros. They all are different species, all are different animals, but they are forming a community. So population is the group of organisms which are having same species in them, and community is a group of organisms which are having different species in them. Number 7 is ecological system. Ecosystems are made up of biotic and abiotic things. Biotic means living and abiotic means non-living things. Ecosystem is formed by plants, animals, microorganisms. Abiotic means non-living. Non-living components are temperature, sunlight, soil, water, rainfall. So biotic or bio means life. So biotic components which are in the ecological system, they are living, and abiotic are non-living things, that is temperature, sunlight, soil, water and rainfall. Number 8 is biosphere level. Biosphere, the biosphere is the region on below and above the earth's surface where life exists. Living things can be found well into the atmosphere, the deepest parts of the ocean, and at least in some areas microbes live in rocks several kilometers below the surface of the earth. Biosphere is a covering that is around the earth. See, the biosphere is the region on, below and above the earth. This means it's a cover, like our pillow cover. Like our pillow cover covers the pillow, in the same way biosphere covers our earth. and living things can be found well into the atmosphere. This means under the biosphere all the living things are present. So this was all about from chapter number 1. This is the part 1 of chapter 1 from the new book. Your homework is question number 1, define biology and its divisions. This already you have done in the previous chapters, so I'm not going to explain it again. In this lesson you will not find the biology definition and the divisions, but I would like to repeat it. You will define biology, that it is the science that deals with the living things, and then in the divisions you will talk about zoology, botany and microbiology. Question number 2, name the branches of biology and define them. Almost 17 branches are given in the new book, so you have to define them. In the old book also the branches are given. You can take the whole from you can take the help from the old book as well. Question number 3, describe relationship of biology with other sciences. In new book also it is given relationship of biology with other sciences, plus in the old book it is also given. So you can take the help from both, but it's good if you are going to consider your new book with the new syllabus. It could have some new things in it. Question number 4, describe the careers in biology. This we have done today, the careers in biology. You can take the help from this video as well as from the new book. Question 5, write few ayah from Quran about the origin and characteristics of animals and plants. 3 Quranic verses we have discussed in this lesson, plus in the new book you are having 3 Quranic verses. So you will not write Arabic language, but you are going to write the translation, the number of surah and the number of verse. Question number 6, write contribution of following in biology. Number 1, Jabir bin Hayyan. Number 2, Abdul Malik Asma'i. Number 3, Bu Ali Sina. This means these 3 biologists you have to discuss about and write their contribution. The previous book a lot of biologists are given, but here you are going to discuss only 3. Question number 7, describe taxonomic level of organization by giving example of your own. You have to describe the taxonomic level of organization. Like I have given one example over here. You can take an animal of your choice. I have taken wolf. The species is wolf, genus is wolf, dog, jackal. Family wolf, dog, jackal and fox. They are same. In order you will find the eating habit like wolf, dog, jackal, fox and bear. Then comes class Mammalia, phylum Chordata, and kingdom is Animalia. Thank you and God bless you.